Lesson 10. Verbs, finite and non-finite. Let's warm up initiative and self-direction. Encircle the participle in the following sentences. 1. Put the beaten curd in a deep dish. 2. The police found the stolen necklace in a garbage bin. 3. Rinku had eaten dinner at 8 p.m. 4. Rashmi was studying when the light went off. 5. Ankit has won the racing competition twice. 6. Having cleaned the mess, she took a bath. Let's observe analytical skills. Read the following sentences. A. Mayank does 10 sums every day. B. Rekha likes to read novels. What do you observe in the above sentences? Let's learn conceptual learning. In the above sentences, Mayank is the subject of the sentence. The verb read shows the action done by Rekha. It also shows two things. In first sentence, the singular subject, Mayank, and the verb does is in singular form. Secondly, the verb does shows the time of action, every day, as it is in simple present form. Hence, the verb does is a finite verb. We have learnt that a finite verb agrees with the subject in number, singular or plural, and shows the time of action by having a tense marker. In second sentence, the verb likes is a finite verb that agrees with the subject, while the verb to read is a non-finite verb. Hence, non-finite verbs do not change even if the subject changes in number and/or person. Finite verb agrees with the number and person of the subject. Kinds of non-finite verbs. Non-finite verbs. Infinitives. Gerunds. Participle. Infinitives. These are also called to verbs, as they are often preceded by to. But they are also used without to. Use of infinitives with to can be used as present infinitive. Examples. A. I will go to sleep. B. She decided to forgive his mistakes. Perfect infinitive. Examples. A. I wish to have slept. B. She seems to have forgotten his mistakes. Use of infinitives without to. They are also called bare infinitives. We can use them after modal auxiliaries. We use infinitives without to after modals can, could, will, shall, should, would, may, might and must. They are not used with ought. Examples. A. You can walk to school. B. We shall speak about it. C. I might learn French. After do form. Examples. A. I don't know. B. Richard does care. After verbs like make, bid, dare, let, need. The usual format is verb plus object plus infinitive. Examples. A. They make me run 2 miles. B. I bid her farewell. After verbs of perception feel, hear, see, watch, know. We use infinitives without to after verbs of perception plus object, where applicable. Examples. A. They hear you speak about the project. B. You see me dance. After expressions like rather than, would rather, would sooner than, had better. Examples. A. I would rather speak the truth. B. She had better practice the song before performing. After than and but, in case but means except. Examples. The joker better jump than sit in a corner. B. I could do nothing but smile. Functions of infinitives. Infinitives can be used as adverbs, adjectives and nouns. Use of infinitives as adverbs. Example. She tried to understand. Use of infinitives as nouns. Examples: A. To help is a good quality. B. To learn is good for the mind. Use of infinitives as adjectives. Example: I don't have time to waste. Bare infinitives are also used with modal verbs can, could, will, would, may, might, shall, should, must, used, need, dare and ought. Examples: A. You must wake up early to inhale pure air. B. I might not come to see you before I go. Participles. A participle is a verbal adjective. It is a form of a verb that acts as an adjective in a sentence. There are three types of participles. One is ing participle or present participle, ed participle or past participle, and having participle or perfect participle. Present participle. It is also called a progressive participle. It is formed by adding the suffix ing. It denotes an ongoing action in active form. It functions either as a non-finite verb or as an adjective. Examples: A. He has been running since morning. Verb. B. His running speed was less than required. Adjective. Past participle. It is often formed by adding the suffix ed, d, t, n or n. It denotes the past tense of the verbs. It functions either as a non-finite verb or as an adjective. Examples are: the stopped clock showed the correct time twice. Adjective. B. The victim gave a written complaint. Perfect participle. The perfect participle is formed by combining having or having been with the past participles. The perfect participle is usually used in sentences with more than one clause if one action is completed before the next action starts, or if one action has been going on for a period of time when another action starts. The perfect participle is used in the older or longer action. Examples: A. Having finished the work, he went home. Finishing the work is the older action. B. Having spoken her mind, she felt comfortable. Speaking her mind is the older action. Uses of participles. To join sentences, pairs of sentences can be joined to appear more compact and elegant by use of participles. We use progressive participle, ing form, to refer to actions that are going on at present and past, or perfect participle to refer to actions that are complete. Example: I saw the gardener. He was watering the plants. I saw a gardener watering the plants. Use of participle in correct position to convey accurate sense. We know that adjectival participles say something about the nouns or pronouns. So, it is important that they should refer to the correct. Example: cooking in the kitchen, she was scared by a small mouse. Correct. Cooking in the kitchen, a small mouse scared her. Wrong. Gerunds. A gerund is similar in form to the present participle or ing participle. Gerund is the verb ending in ing and functions as a subject or object noun of a sentence. Since the gerund does the work of a noun, it is called a verbal noun. Gerund as a subject noun. Examples: A. Learning is a process to improve your knowledge. B. Driving without license is illegal. Gerund as an object noun. Examples: A. Jyoti prefers driving to work. B. I like reading detective novels. Grammar Connect. Finite verbs provide crucial information about the action or state, while non-finite verbs add nuance and versatility to sentence structures.